esto puede hacer todo mi trabajo.
Y con solo 14.5 pulgadas de largo, la sierra recíproca 357 trabajará en lugares prácticamente imposibles.
Puedo cortar casi todos los ángulos y direcciones.
Son la combinación perfecta para sus trabajos más difíciles. Gracias a ustedes por todo.
Is another star. A star is born. We knew he could fight. We knew he had power. We knew he was sensational. And tonight he proved all that and then some. The new WBO middleweight champion of the world, twelfth, Peter Quillin. It's amazing, you know, to be here with Oscar de la Hoya, who actually won that title, that exact same title, the WBO middleweight championship of the world, and then to have another legend there, Bernard Hopkins, who won exactly that same title, the WBO middleweight championship of the world, and here now is the future and the present of the middleweight division. An amazing performance. You saw the skills. What a great fight he fought, with the patience he fought. Bernard, the all-time reigning middleweight king, I think you were impressed, right? And so really great to see that the middleweight division is in the hands of somebody as good, as strong, with a huge future, Peter Quillin. Peter.
Thank you so much. I want to point out something right there. You see that guy right there? That guy, he just betted on me before the fight. He was betting on another guy. I'm glad you lost some money. But most important, I'm very blessed to be in front of y'all. I'm very blessed to be part of such a huge promotion team backing me, which in Golden Boy. You know, guys like Bernard Hopkins, who's been seeing me off and on and just giving me wisdom and knowledge, and I've been carrying that on. You know, I'm working with a powerful team. Al Hammond advising me on the best opportunities out there. I got my management, John Seep and Jimmy McDevitt, who's hard-working. And, you know, you can't have all these hard-working people backing you and you're not a hard-working fighter, you know. So I'm very blessed to be in the Wild Card Boxing Club working with Eric. You know, Freddie's very busy, but Eric has been taking the time. He's been in the trenches with me. But it's all a blessing. And I learned something throughout this whole journey, you know. You know, I got the work ethic behind me, and every camp I just take it up and take something, what I learned from each camp, and try to make a better camp the next one. And I learned so much about myself. If you can take a moment with me, I used to start out the camp. It's kind of like listen to everybody, because everybody was saying, oh, you fighting for a world title, and they had their things to say about that. And I had to go back to what I knew, and I started going in the mirror, and I asked myself every day before training, I said, who's going to value you more than you value yourself? I got 1 million people value me here, so I got to place myself above there. And I learned when I started doing that, I started understanding that, you know, a guy with only 15 amateur fights, you know, is able to go out there and perform at a high level with all the hard work. Now I got 7 years durability on my body and 7 years durability of fighting, pure fighting at a professional level. And, you know, I'm not saying like I accomplished much, but besides being a world champion tonight, you know, I got to give credit to Hassan, because he fought like a champion. I looked in his eyes, and I was calling him a gazelle before the fight, but I seen a lion in his eyes. And, you know, I got to give a lot of credit to him, because he just made me a better fighter tonight.
Thank you, Peter. Hassan N'Dam, absolutely agree. He fought a great fight. He's the world champion. He came here. He really came to win. He fought a very courageous fight. Never gave up. Went down, came up. Went down, came up. And in the end, obviously, Peter was just a bit too much. So give it up for Hassan N'Dam as well.
You know, when they say you fight with Peter Quillin, you know that I am a fighter. I am a great fighter. I want to fight the best boxer. Peter Quillin has undefeated. I say yes, but you know, for beginning, when I take my belt in July, the WBO say you fight the one of 15 number one. I say okay. I go to my training camp. I say I want to fight Martin Muri. He say he don't want. He doesn't want. After I say I want to find number 2, Peter Quillin, and number 3. At this time, I don't know that I fight with Peter Quillin. At this time, I'm going to my training camp, and then they say Peter Quillin, I'm number 1 now, and you need to do a mandatory fight. I don't have time to prepare Peter Quillin because Peter Quillin is a great boxer, you know. He undefeated. I say okay because I never give up for no fight, never in my life. I'm boxer. I'm man. He have 2 hands. I have 2 hands. I say no. I go in. I sign the rematch for this fight because I don't prepare for very well for this fight because I know that I go in like that, but I don't have all things to win this fight. But I have boxing for win this fight. I say I go, but I sign the rematch for this fight. No, now know that for the next fight for Peter Quillin, he need to fight me for rematch. I think it's here or in France or another place, but Peter Quillin give the best of him today. He was the champion. He won today because you know in my life I never go down for knockout. I surprised for 4 rounds. I say okay, I have 12 rounds to win. I go 2 times because you know what, I see the the tape of Peter Quillin. He have a right hand very strong and uppercut. I work for him. He never touch me with right hand, but I never know that he have a hook very yeah. I never know that he have a very good hook too. But now you know that. But know that, my friend, for the rematch, I will work for this, for all things. I know that I have boxing for fight, for beat you. But today you are the best, you win, and congratulations for this fight.
Any questions?
Question? Is this on? No? Oh, okay. Peter's question's for you. Started a little slow in the first 2 rounds, and then you were able to land that big right hook in the 3rd and get things going. What did Eric Brown tell you in the corner?
Eric Brown told me before the fight you had to win every round, 1 at a time. So, you know, like I didn't watch really much film of Hassan. I just knew that once I stepped in the ring with him, I had to learn right there. And that's what me in the first couple rounds was learning him and seeing what I was able to do in it. You know, Eric was, you know, he's a trainer, so he's going to try to push the best out of me. Like I said, when people value here, you got to place yourself above, and I'm willing to try anything he tells me because I trust that whatever advice he's giving me the best advice for me. So, you know, he wanted me to put the pressure more. I didn't want to be one of those kind of guys that follow behind Hassan and you let him use his boxing skills because he does have great boxing skills, so I wanted to cut the ring a little bit more. Eventually, I wanted to go to the body a little bit more, but he got great distance. He knows his distance pretty well, and you know I was just trying to close the distance with him, and you know I landed some good punches. He landed some good punches, and that's what made a good fight tonight for you guys.
Last question for you, Petey. Later in the fight, he came on strong. In fact, I gave him the last 4 rounds heading into the final round. I'm down 1 point. What did Eric Brown tell you in the corner before that 12th round, and what were you thinking as far as having to finish this fight like a champion?
Well, he told me animal status. If you hear me say that all the time, it's me not thinking like a human, it's me thinking like an animal. And he was telling me, you gotta be an animal, you gotta be an animal. And I was trying to press the action, but I ain't gonna even lie. I looked at Hassan, and like I said, I seen the lion in his eye, man. I seen that he was really wanted this fight. He really wanted to win. So I can't take that will away from him, and that's what again made this a good fight. Not only for Hassan to learn some things, but also for me to be a good champion.
Go ahead.
Hi, this question is for Richard. Hassan's talking about the rematch.
As all you guys know, I got a real tough story. I came to New York when I was 18, a young kid. I left Grand Rapids, Michigan because I was sick and tired. My best friend, Johnny Perez, was telling me, you know, I said, bro, if I had the opportunity to move to New York, what would you say? He said, you know, you fighting guys in the street, man, they ain't gonna fight you for long. They might really want to hurt you with a weapon, so I'll advise you to get out of here. So when I came here, It was real rough, man. It went to the point where the trainer that brought me here kicked me out of his house. He was standing on me with a hammer. Get the hell out of my house, you know? And I was just like, man, just let me go. Just let me leave, man. And I was on the train, on the 4 train, heading to the Lower East Side, not knowing where I was going to go. And I went and I called my boy Steve, and Steve was telling me, you know, come here. And we talked about it. From there, Steve was telling me, he said, you know what, Pete? You can stay here. You know, stay here as long as you need to. And I was staying on a little couch. And the couch was so little that I was like, man, F this, man. I'm going to get on the floor. And I'm comfortable with laying on the hardwood floor. To the point where Steve called me and was like, man, Pete, I don't want to disrespect you or anything, but I see a mattress laying out there in the trash, basically. What you want to do? I said, man, let me go look at it. I looked at it. I said, man, we're going to get that thing. I shrugged it up, and that's where I was sleeping on. So that right there was the testament of where I don't question God's will. I don't say, why did that happen? Why? I mean, all these things. I mean, all those things happen to be where I'm at today, and that's what gives me the confidence to know I went through a lot of hard times to be where I'm at. And like I said, I'm not trying to take anything from Hassan because he's a good champion, but you know, I was crying thinking about all those times where I didn't have family or somebody telling me, now everybody got to tell me, this is how you win a championship. But nobody ever told me, this is how you get off the floor and make yourself better.
Guys, immediate rematches, they will tell you no. So it's signed, okay? So we have a signed contract. We will live exactly by the contract. Thank you. Okay, next question.
No, right here.
Okay, Len.
It occurred to some of us at ringside that, you know, I know you said, Eric said that he hasn't faced a fighter at your level, but maybe you hadn't faced a fighter with his kind of his athleticism and his boxing, you know, style, and also what about his style made this fight exciting and maybe brought out, like you said, the best in you?
I have to say intelligence. You know, anybody can go out there and play rock'em sock'em boxing, and that means just throw wild, crazy punching. He's actually working behind his jab, working with his movement, knew exactly his distance, and you know, that's right there is what I had to figure out and get to the point. I was taking those couple rounds where I had to figure out his movement. He was kind of leaning to the left with his jab, and it was kind of awkward to me. But you know, that's what make him a good fighter, is those things and those qualities about himself. But you know, eventually, like I said before the fight, eventually I was going to touch him, and he was going to have to really figure out what kind of fighter he is. And you know, like I said, anybody can, you know, fight hard, but he got off on the canvas every time I dropped him to try to come back and win.
That's what I was going to ask you next. The first knockdown, we thought it was over. The second knockdown, we thought it was over. What was going through your mind when he continued to get up? And then also later in the rounds when he was coming on? He's not gonna quit. He's getting up every time I drop him, you know what I'm saying? He getting right back up, and like I said, I never had a guy, like out of 27 fights, every guy that I touched, they became hurt, you know, and some of those guys got that will where they want to last, and that's what he had. And you know, it was all about winning one round at a time. I knew I was confident in my conditioning to do 12 rounds, and you know, it's about having that intelligence and not to let nothing, you know, deter you from where you was trying to go. And that's why I was keeping focused. You know, if he got back up, then I had to keep putting him down, or I had to keep winning, or you know, just take the fight for what it is. Have he ever hurt me? Well, he hit me with a punch in my neck. That joint hurt it. But, you know, like I try to share no pain. I try to show no pain at all. I try to show no flaw. I noticed that I was fighting off the rope for a minute, and I think I'm usually confident with that, but I learned something. Don't be fighting off them ropes, because, you know, he might hit me with something, like he hit me with an uppercut, and, you know, I was like, man, I'm going to get off this rope right here and, you know, fight in the middle of the ring.
You showed a great fight. Who you have on your radar? Who you want next?
Well, you know what? I'm on a lot of guys' menu right now, so it's not going to be a problem to get a fight. I got a hard-working team behind me. I got Al Heyman. I got Golden Boy. I got my management. You know, like, you know, people say, oh, man, you got to fight for the glory. Well, I found out some glory don't pay your bills. So I'll fight anybody. I said I fight my own moms, and I still mean that. But now I got the middleweight champion. She might want to fight with me. But the most important thing is that, like, when you got hard-working people,
behind you that know the demographics with everything, I don't have to worry. All I got to do is just go to the gym, prepare for the challenges that they come in front of me, and I face them. And you know what? I'm looking to be a victor every time I step out there. So whoever, I'm not going to be disrespectful calling out these fighters. I was calling out Sergio Martinez, and as you can see, that never happened. So I'm gonna just be focused. I'm the only American middleweight rated right now, and this is all a blessing. I'm gonna take God's platform and be responsible with it, and just be inspiring people. By the way, they did beat the Yankees though. But my father is my inspiration in my life. He's from Cuba. When I say he's from Cuba, he's born and raised in Cuba. And a lot of people would take it and say, oh, he's not Cuban, because I don't really speak Spanish. But my dad did a lot of time in prison when he was out of my life. When I tell people, describe your father, I said, well, watch Scarface, and that's my pops right there. That's a real story. But my pops, gave me that work ethic. A lot of pops, I figure out, when they get out of prison, they go back to prison. My dad got out of prison, and he showed us like roofing, he showed us like construction, he showed us plumbing, but I hate that job right there. And then I learned something else that my dad did. He's underpaying me, so I eventually quit it a whole bunch of times. But what I can say is I know how to do roofing, I know how to do plumbing, I know how to build things just because of my dad. And also what he has instilled in me is about hard work and just working for what you want and never asking people for what you want to get, and you got to work for it. So that's why I'm thankful for my pops. I've been in Cuba. I'm planning on going back, just learn about myself and just try to get better as a person.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. Thank you. Really fantastic. We have a new middleweight champion here in America. We have a strong middleweight Peter Quillin.
I want you guys to give yourself a round of applause, because boxing is a type of sport. For most of us, it's not a sport, it's a lifestyle. I live this, it's my life. So when you write about boxing, I want you to write not so much of an opinion, but write about bringing the sport up, because this sport right here has changed me for the better. It's changed me to be a guy that want to inspire people, and I'm thankful to be in front of all you guys. I see some of you guys all the time, and I'm blessed to even know you all these years, and I'm glad that I'm able to be a middleweight champion. Y'all was part of this moment. Thank you.